Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another very important and informative video on 5 golden thumb rules you need to keep in mind when you're applying for Schengen Visa. So without wasting any time, as you can see on my screen, 98% of you are regularly watching my channel are non-subscribers. So kindly hit the subscribe button and support my channel. So many people ask me on my Instagram and on the YouTube comments, what are the most important things you need to keep in your mind when applying Schengen Visa? Now, I have pointed them to different videos, and as you guys know, they're all in different videos and they're not in one video. So in this video, I want to take the opportunity to mention those rules combined in one video so that, if you guys ask in the future, or if your friends or family are looking for this kind of video, you can surely share this video, guys. So the first important thumb rule when applying for Schengen Visa is apply well in advance. Now, whatever rules I'm going to talk in this video are the official articles listed by Schengen Visa rulebook itself and also VFS Global. Please keep that in mind. This is not my own rules that I've come up with. This is what is recommended by VFS and also Schengen Visa rulebook itself. So the first rule I want to talk about is apply well in advance. Now, 90% of the Schengen countries out of 29, you can apply those visas 6 months in advance. A few of them can be applied through VFS, a few of them through BLS, and few of them directly you can apply through the consulate. So as far as I know, guys, I've tried to do a bit of research online. You can apply most of the countries' visas before 6 months in advance. Even if it is 3 months in advance, that is very good time. So you have to be prepared in terms of getting yourself ready and applying visa before 6 months. In case if your visa gets rejected, you can always apply for another country. You can correct your documentation and apply for another country. It gives you a very important lead time. Now, when I went to Norway last year, I applied for my visa. I started my process before 5 months and my passport was in the Norway embassy for nearly 2 months in New Delhi. So these kind of things happen. They won't even give you your passport, guys. So once you submit your passport along with your application to VFS, until you get it via courier, whether it's rejected or approved, that is secondary. But those days during the processing, the passport will be with the embassy. You will not have access to your passport. So always plan your Schengen visa in advance. Rule number 2 is gather the documents. Now, you have decided you want to go to France, for example, or Italy. You have to gather all the documents. When I say gather the documents, you have a lot of documents to submit when it comes to Schengen visa. As you already know, you have to collect 3 months pay slips depending upon the country. Some countries like Norway, they asked me 6 months of pay slips. 6 months of pay slips or 3 months of pay slips. Income tax receipts is one very good important thing. You have to also be prepared for dummy bookings. Now, Schengen rulebook clearly says that you can book dummy hotels and dummy flight tickets, and once after getting the visa, you can book your actual flight tickets where you want to fly. So get your dummy flight tickets. You have to get your IT returns, you have to get your pay slips, you have to get a HR approved letter in terms of your leaves, in terms of your most important thing is giving permission. For example, in case of students, if you're studying in a college, you have to get an authorized letter from your principal. So there are n number of documents depending upon the scenario. And the most important document that I want to stress upon is for newly married couples or for couples who don't have their marriage certificate. See guys, if you don't have marriage certificate and you want to include your spouse name in your passport, I've made a dedicated video. You don't need marriage certificate for the time being. You can fill this annexure which I've mentioned in the video and you can get your spouse name in your passport. Now, what happens is when you go for a Schengen visa application, you're newly married couple, you're going for your honeymoon, or you're already been married for like 2 to 3 years, but you don't have your spouse name in your passport. So there is 2 options for you when going to Schengen visa application, because you guys have to apply together. You cannot have separate applications. So when you apply as a family, as a couple together, the first and the foremost thing they see is your spouse name in the passport. If it is not there, you have to submit marriage certificate. Now, if you don't have marriage certificate, if a spouse name is not there in your passport, it is definitely becoming a problem. So always try to include your spouse name in the passport itself by referring to this video and then apply for Schengen visa. So all these documentation, guys, you can get it ready once you book an appointment with the country you're going to visit. These 6 months will give you good opportunity to get all of your documents prepared. Golden rule number 3 is providing realistic cover letter and travel itineraries. Now, people have been pinging me from the last 3 months for Schengen Visa cover letter and itineraries. If you're interested, I'll be preparing for a very, very reasonable price, guys. If you go to a visa agent, just for verifying documents, you will charge 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. And if you want to submit your application through visa agent, minimum 10 to 15,000 rupees, and VFS embassy fee, it will come up to 25,000. And nobody can guarantee whether your visa gets approved or rejected, because it's not in anyone's hands, it's in only consulate hands. So providing realistic cover letter, it is what defines your Schengen visa. Now, if you just copy your friend's cover letter or your sister's or maybe your cousin's cover letter and submit, it is not going to help you, because everyone's case is different when visiting Schengen visa, and everyone's country is different, purpose is different, and based on that you need to prepare your cover letter. And preparing cover letter, especially when you visited Schengen, if you've got Schengen visas 2 times in the last 3 years, when preparing cover letter, you have to design in such a way, that impressive way, that as soon as they see the cover letter, they're quite impressed and they give you multiple entry visa. Remember, cover letter is your resume, guys. When you prepare for a job, you prepare your CV beautifully, right? Your CV has to be the best, even though you might not have all the technical skills mentioned in the CV, but to get an interview call, you must have your CV prepared. Similarly, cover letter is very, very, very important. Cover letter is like 80% in a Schengen visa. Trust me, it's 80%. Cover letter and day-to-day itinerary, where you're going, where you're staying, what will you be doing, how you will be going to another country, is what defines your Schengen visa. I've told this multiple times in multiple videos, yet people have really not understood. They go to Google, they go to ChatGPT, copy some content, paste it on your cover letter. That's not going to work out, guys. So you have to understand, if one person is going sponsoring his family, his cover letter will be different. If you're a couple, your cover letter will be different. If you're a couple and both of you are working, your cover letters will be different. So for every case, the cover letters are different. Please remember that. So the next rule I want to talk about, so these are the 3 rules we covered. The 4th rule I want to talk about is travel insurance. Now, travel insurance is a mandatory document to Schengen countries, or if you're applying for a Schengen visa, travel insurance plays a huge role, because travel insurance, it differs from country to country. There are 29 Schengen countries, and 29 Schengen countries have 29 different rules for all these countries in terms of what is the minimum travel insurance needed. Some have listed like $30,000, 30,000 euros for France, 50,000 euros for different country. So everyone have different rules. So what I've done is, my suggestion is you can apply through any travel insurance company, whichever is cheaper, go for it. I am not sponsoring, this is not sponsored video. Nobody approached me to sponsor, nobody paid money, and I'll not accept any money to sponsor anything and lead you and misguide you guys, basically. So go to Google, whichever is the cheapest, take the travel insurance. So what I've done in this video for video purposes, I've gone to Tata AIG website, because only reason going to Tata AIG website is their UI and website is very beautiful. Their UX designers have done a great job. I went to this website, I entered my phone number, and as you can see on my screen, there is silver, platinum, and there is another one which is of $100,000 coverage, $300,000 and 1 million coverage. So I usually go for the platinum one, which is the center one, which is recommended, which will cost you 900 rupees, 1000 rupees and 1000 something change. The last one, I don't have it by heart, I'm sorry. So as you can see on my screen, so this middle one will clearly suffice. I've carried the middle one to Norway, and this travel insurance was completely accepted. So the only thing you have to be careful about this is whether it covers COVID or not, because COVID, as you know, was a widespread disease in the past few years back, and you have to ensure that COVID is covered in the travel insurance, because coverage of COVID is something which is really mandatory, and all the medical expenses, hospitalization, and you have to spend a lot of time in terms of buying travel insurance. If you want, I can provide help with the travel insurance as well, but again guys, I'll just guide you, because you can go to Google yourself, search for the best travel insurance and book it. And for even I'll tell you how scams visa agents do is, even for booking this travel insurance, which they will do, if 500 rupees or 1000 rupees is travel insurance, they'll be charging somewhere around 3000 or 4000 rupees. Same thing, which you can do it on your own hard worked money by yourself. So travel insurance, the golden rule number 4, travel insurance should be very, very important document. I have seen Schengen visas get rejected because of low coverage of travel insurance. Now imagine you paid the fees, you've paid everything, your itinerary is good, your documentation is good, and your travel insurance is screwed up. Just imagine guys, how unfortunate if your visa is rejected because of travel insurance. So you can take the screenshot as a reference and you can book your travel insurance. Again guys, this is no recommendation of a particular company. Save your own money, whichever is cheapest, take the travel insurance. Alright, so golden thumb rule number 5 is sufficient funds. Again, why I talk about sufficient funds is, you copy your friend's cover letter, you mention I have so much bank balance, blah 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 blah. It is a different case for him. Now, what is expected as per Schengen rule book? Different countries, different rules again. Let's take 100 euros per day. If you want to go to France, say for example, the requirement is your bank balance should be like 100 euros into number of days you are staying. For example, you stay for like 15 days and 100 euros into 15 days is somewhere around 1400 euros, and 1400 into 1500 euros into 92 something exchange rate, 95, let's keep it as 100. So 1.5 lakhs if you are an individual who is applying. Minimum you should have 1.5 lakhs. Now, same 1.5 lakhs cannot be true if you are a family of 4 and you are the whole and sole earner. Now you have your wife, your kids, and you are the only earning person, then the bank balance should be minimum 6 to 8 lakhs. Now, I've seen Schengen visas get rejected for having lack of sufficient funds. I have seen guys, people have pinged me. All you have to do is, while taking the statement, you have to have so many lakhs, and now what they've done from 2024 is they're also checking the history of your bank statement. Now your bank statement is very inactive from the last 6 months, and let's say you have 100 200 rupees transactions, and suddenly you deposit 6 lakhs and you take the statements and give 6 lakhs back to your friend or whomever you borrowed. That is not going to help. That's why what I do is take my recommendation. Now my salary account is with HDFC Bank. I also have a savings account with ICICI Bank. So what I do, I don't provide my ICICI Bank account statement. I provide my HDFC Bank's account statement where my salary is incoming and salary is outgoing to EMIs and all those commitments that I have. So if you provide your salary account statement, it will help you a lot, because they would know that your salary is coming and your salary is also mainly you're spending your own salary. So that is very crucial and key point guys. So these were like 5 thumb rules, golden thumb rules I would say, in terms of applying for a Schengen visa. And again, one more point to add on the sufficient funds is, have sufficient funds, and whatever amount is credited in your salary, for example, if 1 lakh 1 rupee is credited in your salary as your salary, payslip would reflect 1 lakh 1 rupees. Same thing should reflect your bank statement. Now, Schengen, they say that Schengen, when you apply for a Schengen visa, they don't really check this. But for Turkey, that was the condition, and my application was rejected. I had to get my savings account and then forward my application. So always, why do you want to take a chance? Always submit your salary account statement, whichever bank it may be. If you provide your salary account statement, they will have all the transactions. If you do even a Google Pay of 5 rupees, all the transactions will be there in your salary account, guys. So these were the basically 5 thumb rules for applying Schengen visa. Now, there are many other rules you have to keep in your mind, but these were the top 5 rules I would say. I would be careful when I'm applying for Schengen visa. The bottom line of this video is your cover letter and day-to-day itinerary holds very high amount of value, guys. Trust me on this. I've provided a lot of people by charging at a very minimal charge. I've provided cover letter and itinerary both, and all of them have got their Schengen visas. A few of them are yet to confirm because they've not yet applied, but majority of them have got their Schengen visas, South Korea visa, Australia visa, Japan visa, etc. Because cover letter plays a huge role when it comes to an application. It's like you are in front of the officer and you're telling about your application. So cover letter has to be extremely strong. I hope this video was very informative. I hope you all get your Schengen visas, go to Europe and enjoy. I'll catch you guys in my next video.